there is finally general agreement among even the most ardent skeptics that our planet needs serious attention. We are all stewards of the intertwined, complicated ecosystem we call Earth. We have already waited too long to avoid some negative consequences. Many believe that we need to make dramatic changes in our dependence on fossil fuels in the next decade, or risk worsening consequences. And these consequences will impact generations far longer into the future the longer we wait to change. We know today it will take almost an entire generation to undo some of the climate and ecological changes already affected by our increased carbon production. This even if we committed to serious reduction in fossil fuels use, which we have not done. At the same time, developing countries, especially in Asia, are growing population at accelerating rates. In addition to adding people, many of these countries are also increasing in prosperity. This translates to greatly increased global use of automobiles and the need for many additional large-scale electrical power plants. Most of these new power plants continue to depend on burning coal for the additional electricity to meet the energy demands these new homes and businesses require. Burning coal is by far the worst polluter, but coal is cheap and easy to get. And as recent events like the huge oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico, and last year's nuclear disaster in Japan prove, today's most widely used fuels have the potential to cause catastrophic ecological damage. If all of this isn't reason enough to get our attention, our existing energy infrastructure is getting very old. The average age of the world's 436 nuclear power plants has risen to 28 years. By far the majority of these plants are well into the last half of their lives. Recent data shows just one plant currently under construction in the US. As you can see, these are big problems that are going to take a group effort. Our planet needs your help. It has to start with us.
Fortunately, countries like Germany have understood this better than most nations and started taking bold action years ago by supporting the national adoption of renewable energy. Even though they receive less power from the sun than we do here in Minnesota, they have become the global leader in the amount of solar power generated per year. This small country, about the size of Texas, accounts for 30% of all solar power generated on Earth. Their leadership combined with other countries led to the early adoption by California in the United States of renewable energy initiatives. As the industry continues to develop, solar energy, where we harness the free and clean energy from the sun, is becoming the leading solution across the US and around the world.
If we had enough solar panels to capture all the energy from the sun that hits the Earth in one day, it would power the entire world for a whole year. Question: is the sun a planet? Of course not. The sun is a star. As stars go, it is not the largest star, but compared to Earth, it is huge. If you drew the size of the sun in a circle, you could fit 109 circles the size of Earth in it. If you tried to pack Earth into the middle of the sun, it would require over 1 million Earths to fill up the space the sun takes. And the power contained in the sun is beyond our comprehension.
The sun is made up of approximately 75% hydrogen and 25% helium. The sun's center is about 15 million degrees Celsius. It produces primarily two types of energy: heat and light, both of which are indispensable to all forms of life on Earth. The solar industry works to capture both. We catch the heat in solar thermal products that heat up fluids which are then used to run boilers and hot water heaters, for example. When most of us talk about using solar energy, we are referring to the other form of energy where we capture the light and turn it into electricity. This is what we are in the business of doing. Dragonfly Solar designs and builds solar photovoltaic systems for businesses like General Electric around the United States. Solar means sun, photo refers to light, and voltaic means electricity. This is also often referred to as solar PV.
Solar PV systems are made up from a collection of solar panels. Solar panels consist of many solar cells. When the sun shines, it strikes these cells and the panels and a reaction takes place. If you were to look closely at the side of the solar cell or panel, you would see there are really two surfaces. One is charged with a large abundance of extra electrons. When the sun heats it, these electrons are freed from the surface. The second surface has an electron deficit, so when the electrons are freed, they want to move towards the other surface. During this movement, they are captured and sent out along wires where they exit the solar panel. The wires connect to additional solar panels which together produce electricity, which we then use. All without burning fuels, creating heat, carbon and other pollutants currently harming our planet.
Solar PV produces electricity in the form of direct current, often called DC. What are other examples of DC power? Yes, batteries. Batteries are a great example. The batteries you use to run your remote controls or game controllers are all DC. Who knows what we call the other way that electricity is produced and consumed?
It is called AC. What does AC stand for? Alternating current. What are examples of AC? How about all the appliances and uses in our homes and businesses? Refrigerators, furnaces, televisions, stereos, lights, all appliances and gadgets that plug into a wall run off of AC power. If the solar panels produce DC power, but we need AC power in our homes and businesses, how do we do that? We convert the DC energy from solar panels to AC by using an additional piece of equipment called an inverter. So, all solar PV systems need inverters to make the power they produce usable in our lives.
What about electric cars? Electric vehicles, often called EVs for short, run on batteries. What form of electricity do batteries produce? DC. Direct current, remember? So technically, if I had a solar carport, like we do outside here at GE, we should be able to run the power right from the solar panels into the batteries in the car to charge it, correct? That's right, oh wise one. However, that is hardly ever done. Instead, electric vehicles are charged with chargers that receive AC current, and convert it back to DC, to charge the batteries. This is because we want to be able to charge the batteries if we cannot use solar panels. Perhaps our location is in a heavily wooded area and the trees block the sun. Or, what if we need to charge the vehicles at night when there will be no energy produced by our solar panels? So, the next time you are outside on a warm, sunny day, remember that the same sun that can burn your skin if you are not careful, is necessary for all life on Earth and represents an exciting solution to our global energy needs. We need people like you to help make sure our government support these industries. That starts by each of you becoming educated on how this works, what you can do to help, and why you need to help. This is to be a group effort. Our planet thanks you.